another episode of Sip of Solidarity.
We have friends with us.
Yes, I'm personally excited about this on two accounts. One, we're discussing one of my favorite shows, The Bachelor/Bachelorette, and we did a poll a couple of weeks ago on our show to see of our audience who loved it and who hated it. And unfortunately, 75% of you hated it. So I feel like I've got a battle to win tonight.
Not really a battle. We want to talk about why you hate it and kind of pull that out, because what I learned was a couple people that I reached out to when we were seeking out our guests was that several people that said they hated it had never watched it.
Yeah.
So
opinions without evidence.
Kind of like, if I even want to say this, we can take our sign down.
Oh yeah.
We're not really good at this sign thing.
Here, producer.
Our hidden producer.
Yeah.
So you can't really say you don't like it if you've never watched it, right?
I mean, you can not like it. You can't hate it.
Yeah, true. You can dislike something.
But were there options? Was it like a gradated scale?
No, it was a yes or no.
Love or hate?
Well, it was no gray.
Yeah.
It was a do you watch it, yes or no, and then the comments is where it became hateful.
Yes.
And I felt like less of a human.
Not hateful. I love that you guys comment, and I love that you share your opinions or your opinions, whatever Amy likes to call it.
This has become a thing. I haven't defined it, but opinions is a thing.
Yeah. So, joining us tonight, Bethany is back. What show were you on? I can't remember now.
I got to do the wine tasting, which was super fun. And then I was on the one about summer with the kids.
Yep.
Awesome.
That was the week I was on vacation.
We were on vacation, yeah.
Yes, that's
I was
right.
living it up. With this guy, our first man on the show is my husband, Andrew. He loves me so much that he wore the same shirt as me.
Yeah, I heard the show was about solidarity or something. So
yeah,
I'm like, let's do this.
It's funny, he showed up because he was
Bachelor.
with our kids at First Tee golfing, and he showed up. I'm like, oh, we accidentally wore the same shirt. And he's like, I did it on purpose. So we're not ashamed.
He goes, hey girls, and a guy.
And a guy.
Some random dude. That's me.
You're not used to tuning in with a guy, so we won't have men on the show very often, but I feel like for this topic, we definitely needed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I let it slip accidentally once that The Bachelorette was my show.
Yeah.
And I'll never live it down.
He
Never.
said, don't criticize my show.
Never. And it was in front of people. Like, I witnessed it.
Yeah. So here he is.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about tonight?
So
what
we're
are we
gonna
doing?
So the big topic is The Bachelor/The Bachelorette. Right now, a season of The Bachelorette, if you're a fan, and I hope that some of my friends are tuning in, that 25%, please, so that I'm not the only one. But if you're a fan, we're going to talk about The Bachelor and Bachelorette. The Bachelorette's 2 weeks in. We're also going to talk about reality TV in general.
Just in general, yes.
And how we, like, what we watch on TV, why we watch it, why is The Bachelorette such a thing that people get so heated over.
Yeah,
and some common complaints about it.
And I have both Watch Party and our show, so please, I'm watching comments. Please make comments. Give us your opinions. We couldn't put everybody on tonight. We want to hear what you have to say. Be nice. We're all in this solidarity. Yeah. Be nice, but give your opinions and your thoughts, and also share other reality shows that you may watch and how they may compare and such. So we've learned a lot about. Well, I have learned a lot. Yes. About some reality shows maybe I'm not missing watching.
Yeah, as we were prepping tonight, there were a lot of things that came up that I'm sure
Danielle's bubble was kind of...
I kept cutting them all off, like, save the content, save the content. So the first question, and we would love, if you're watching this live or watching it back, comment and let us know, do you watch The Bachelorette, Bachelor/Bachelorette? Do you watch it? That is the first question. So let's go across the table here and say whether or not we watch it. Danielle.
So I have to be honest. I watch it to hold conversations with Amy. So I'm not
ashamed.
I am not one that Monday nights schedule my whole world around. I can tell you years and years ago when I was much younger, I didn't miss an episode. But probably the last 10 years, not so much. I just watched the 2 episodes Tuesday night so that I was prepared for this show.
I love it. You did your homework.
Yes, I did my homework and I watched it. I have opinions on certain things with it, but I don't hate it. I think it's fun. It's entertaining. But I don't watch a lot of shows, so I can't even really say I don't watch it because I dislike it. We don't watch TV very often, so I'm not somebody that is not watching it because I'm watching something else just in general.
Cool.
So that's
What
where
about
I'm
you,
at.
Bethany?
So I don't watch it. I've seen it in the past. I just don't really get the like weird hokey like let me dress up like a T-Rex when I show up and things like that. Like
Those
Jump
things
out of a
are
box.
I
weird.
didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
it's-
thing.
Okay.
And a
Yeah.
shark.
So-
You know the shark.
Oh, yeah, the shark. It was
we
a
watch
dolphin,
a lot
actually.
of like things
Wink,
on
wink.
Netflix and other
I
stuff.
love it.
I do watch some other things that we'll talk about later on down the road, but it's just not something that I'm gonna like take the time to record, or I don't hate it. Like if somebody put it on, I would sit and watch with them, but it wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I do watch it. I love it, and I'm proud of it. I feel like that rhymes, so I should say it.
You
I
hold
like
like
it. I love it. I want some more.
more. I tried so hard. Now
Can't
you guys
rise above it.
all
I
break
do
out in
love
song
it.
now. That's part of the show, Andrew.
Yes.
Your turn.
So I love the show. I didn't watch it until about halfway through. So some of the early seasons I didn't catch, but I've like heard enough about them that I can like reference them. I don't feel like I'm a Bachelorette like trivia person, but then when I'm around other people, I realize I kind of know a lot about it. And
Yes, she is.
Then I become a little bit embarrassed, but not enough
Maybe you have
embarrassed.
seen too much.
Yeah, yeah, or like read too much in like my Google feed that like prompts
Oh,
me
yeah.
because it knows what I watch.
It knows what you watch. Yeah.
So what about you, Andrew?
So my Google feed's also full of Bachelor Nation news because it
Bachelor
knows
Nation.
it,
It's a bad
because it
hashtag.
knows that I have that channel on somehow.
No
Must be my
way.
Google Home. I
There's
don't
like
know
an
what it is.
actual hashtag for this.
Oh
Like,
yeah, hashtag
Oh, yeah.
Bachelor Nation. It's a thing.
Yeah.
That I knew, and I don't even watch it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
that's
a
a thing.
So I probably haven't missed an episode in 5 years.
Yeah.
Longer. Maybe.
But what I love is you
And-
guys do it together, and you like
So-
schedule dinner around it, and
Exactly.
you like used to
Yeah.
host like it's become a.
It's like Monday night date night.
It's
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah, we make it a thing. We hang out together, and over time, I've come to enjoy the fun of the show.
And that's what I wanna ask.
Not like make a stink of it. Like, oh, I'm better than this. I don't need to waste my time. Just have fun, watch it, enjoy it for what it is.
Can I ask this do you think that you would have ever started watching it or liking it, or do you think that you guys like it more as a couple because it's something you guys do together? Like on an
Oh,
individual basis, I'm
absolutely.
sure you guys like it, but because you're doing this together and you're having this bonding and do you
Yeah.
think that you guys actually like it better because it's something you do together?
100%. Yeah. But I would be lying if I didn't admit that I started watching it with my mom many years ago when I was still in high school.
Before I
hi, Mom.
watched
Yeah.
it. Oh
My.
I remember the
She's
Andrew
watching our kids
Firestone
right now.
season. Yeah, we watched that together.
I didn't watch the Andrew Firestone season.
See, I go back further than you do. So.
I've been-
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
He's well, he was like the Firestone Tires here in Akron.
Yeah,
Oh.
I never
he
He
was
was,
like,
like, of that
the
family.
heir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got nothing for that one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So first Andrew watched it with his
Oh,
mom.
yeah.
Yeah,
the Cronus
right.
Hill.
Then I
Oh.
convinced
Or
him to
whatever
watch it
was.
with me, and then now we willingly watch it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I
love
have to
that.
remind you sometimes, and you're like, "Oh, it is Bachelorette night."
I totally forgot that the season premiere was on the 13th.
Yeah,
Forget
we
which
talked
For
about
like
that.
the last 3 years, it was on Memorial Day. And then they were like, oh, we're going to do it 2 weeks earlier. And I'm like, well, you just ruined, but made everything wonderful.
All
At
right.
the same time. So then the next question is, we've kind of already shared this, but if you're watching, whether live or in replay, do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you indifferent? So I think we've touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But maybe if we go through again and just say like if we love, hate, or indifferent.
I would say I'm indifferent. I could live without it, but I don't mind watching it.
Somebody said you're a good son.
Oh.
That is
Oh,
Beth.
thanks,
Just-
Mom.
She also
Yeah.
wants.
She's wonderful.
Oh.
No, that's
That
Beth.
wasn't Mom. That's
That's
Beth.
Beth.
But she
Wow.
also
That's-
wants you to make
Yeah.
her husband watch it with her.
Yes. So I will work on that.
You can
We have
work
to
on
get.
it.
I
We
watch
can
her
work on it.
dogs.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful family. I met them through her dogs, but they've become family to us, and they're just a wonderful couple. So I think I could get Tim to watch. I'm gonna have to work on that.
Mission.
Yeah,
your work's
mission.
out for you.
I'll be
Bethany,
over this
you're
week.
also in the indifferent category.
Yeah, I don't really love or hate it. It's kind of whatever.
yeah.
And then obviously Andrew and I love it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm speaking for
Apparently,
you.
producer man says
No, it
that's
is
Our
my show.
producer,
Yeah,
who is
we've been
probably
over
the
this.
most
Yeah.
controversial person ever and likes to start drama sometimes on topic, doesn't like it.
He might start liking it after the show. I think we'll
I'm
win
a
him
little-
over.
Big brother.
Big
Oh,
Brother.
Big
That's
Brother.
not
That's
on my
a-
list
don't
of
really
reality
watch that one
shows.
either.
I don't even know how it works. Okay.
They're in a
So,
house. I know
This
that
actually
much.
leads into the next question of if you are someone, there's a lot of people out there, obviously 75% of you, that hate The Bachelor or strongly oppose it, and for many reasons, which we'll get into. But how does that relate to other reality shows? Like
do
is
you
it
watch?
because you don't watch other reality shows and you just think they're all garbage? Is it something about this one in particular, simply compared to other reality shows?
And I think that's important to state because it's funny that my mother comes to my mind. My mom is one of those people that doesn't watch any reality TV. And if you know my mom, you're going to laugh at this next comment because she doesn't like when people emotionally engage emotionally trigger other people. Like she doesn't like
when they're mean
when
to
there's
each other
drama
on
or you're
purpose.
mean to
Yeah.
people or something like that. So she watches no reality show at all. And like I remember even as like a mid-20s when I would watch a lot more, she would go, those are crazy and these people are so mean to each other and this and that. Across the board of all reality shows.
A lot of them are though.
I would agree with that to a certain extent, but it's reality too. Like we don't live in this like happy-go-lucky world. So sometimes I think that not that I would support the reality show, but sometimes it's a little break from like the reality of the drama. Like there's drama in life, and that if you see it on TV and see other things happening, it kind of takes that apart. So I do not watch other reality shows just because, again, at this stage in my life, I don't watch much TV. But I can say shows like Hoarder,
that gives me
Wife
anxiety.
Swap,
Me too.
all of that
Yeah.
stuff I loved to watch. Like those were my
Wife Swap.
I did.
Oh my god.
And that one's horrible.
Swap.
That would be
wives.
Yes, that
Yeah.
one's
I have
horrible.
problems with
Is
that.
Trading
Against-
Spaces a reality show?
What?
Is that Trading
That's an
Spaces?
old
Yeah,
that's
an
Is
old
that
one.
a-
Yeah.
And I mean, to
Then-
be
then
honest,
I've
I
those too.
watched Wife Swap, which is like 100% against
Extreme
anything
home
and everything I
makeover.
believe
Yeah, there
in.
you go.
But
It was odd.
it was odd that it kept my attention, and I think that's what it was. It was so
I feel that's like the swamp people.
Oh, yeah.
show.
it was
I've
so
never
off
seen
of the
Swamp
norm
People.
or so off of what normal life would be that I actually found it fascinating, and that's what made me want to engage in it.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So Bethany, I'm going to put you on the spot. I know
Yeah.
that you like Naked and Afraid.
I do.
You don't watch The Bachelor,
So I
but you
think-
watch Naked and Afraid.
I think
And I would be definitely
And you need to
afraid
give
to
a
even
summary.
watch that.
Give
So-
a summary of what it is for those
if
who
No.
haven't
if
seen
you
it.
don't watch Naked and Afraid, the premise of it is that they're going to spend 21 days surviving in the middle of nowhere. So it could be
Naked.
like
Naked.
the rainforest. We'll get to that part.
No.
So it could be like the rainforest, the jungle, like an island, whatever, a place that's typically not inhabited. And it's two people. So like it depends on when you're watching it because they do different styles. So there's the one where it's just two people and usually it's a man and a woman that have never met each other. They get a survival rating. So like they go into it with some kind of wilderness survival skills, and the goal is to get a higher rating.
Like Boy Scouts?
Like some of them are like hardcore, like the one was like a wilderness medic or something
Oh,
like that.
wow.
So
Fancy.
like
So they should know not to be naked in the rainforest.
But it's a challenge.
We didn't get
It's
there
a
yet.
challenge.
did you?
We're
I'm
not
You
there.
sorry.
increase your score.
This
It's all about
show
your wilderness
blows
score.
my mind. I can't even.
So and then they do other ones where like they've done group challenges and things like that. I think for me,
Group challenges naked.
yeah, everybody's naked. The show is called Naked and Afraid.
Again, guys, you see where my problem lies.
We all have the same parts if we're women. We all have the same parts if we're men. To
But
me,
you're
that's
out in
whatever.
the rainforest.
But on TV, it's blurred.
Yeah, and like they blur it out, so you're not going to see it at all.
They don't blur it in real, like the person standing across from you.
I
see
will.
that?
I will say that.
Okay,
I
They're
don't.
not
So-
naked the
so
whole
let me
time.
preface this
you know,
with:
they-
if you went to basic training, you would get in a shower with a whole bunch of people that are naked, and you get over it.
See, and that
The
shows
end.
like the difference. To me, like there ain't
A
no
fair
way I
point.
do that. But I'll watch people like have drama or date
And
each other and
I
stuff.
think-
So it is a preference.
I think
Which
for
I-
me, the reason I like it is The Bachelorette has like because I have seen some of it. It's just so much drama that for me, like that shuts me down, and
Okay.
I find that to be something that like puts me in a place where I don't really like to be. And so, like when I'm watching these people surviving in the woods, like I'm like, oh, that was a really smart idea, or I would have never thought to make like shoes out of tree bark, or so like.
Mhm.
I don't think about like the fact that they're naked and afraid most of the time because like you're thinking about okay, well, how are you going to get protein today or stuff like that.
Fascinating.
And I do watch some other things. Like I love Property Brothers, some of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I try to keep drama out of my life, and I feel like The Bachelorette kind of just fuels the drama that I don't want in my life sometimes in certain areas.
Would it help at all to look at the show knowing that the producers
I'm sure
orchestrate
they script it, yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah,
drama?
it's all
Like, this
orchestrated.
person has to be here. We
They,
cast this person because we knew they were crazy,
Yeah.
and we put them in. We made them keep that person.
And I
And
don't
conveniently,
discount
they
that at
picked
all.
them last because everyone thought
Well-
maybe there's a chance they'll send them home.
Yeah, and that's
But
it
they
too.
don't because
And I think that that's
ABC
important to
Fam.
remember in reality shows. Kind of going
Let's be
back,
fair.
like my mom always had this
Like,
issue
how
with
much
reality
is it
shows.
real, and how much of
Yeah.
it is what they're like putting in place, and how
Mhm.
long
Yeah.
have they kept these people awake? And
It is a
Which
show.
We'll touch
Yeah.
on that too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
especially the keeping these people awake. So for
So, like,
anybody
yeah,
that
that does
watches
factor
it, like
in.
that first night, the first rose ceremony where the person meets literally 25 to 30 eligible
30 in
bachelors.
this latest one.
Yeah, there were
that's
30.
just a lot of people to meet.
Too many
Yeah.
people. That's-
She meets them all in one night. She picks one to get the first impression rose. They always choose poorly. It's like data proven. If you get the first impression rose, you're gonna lose.
Mhm.
And then
Data proven.
you go to
Well, I feel like you've got a lot to live up to. You
exactly.
get
Well,
that.
everyone puts an X on your back, and like you just can't live up to that.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
never works. I think the one time they chose the first impression person, like they ended up changing their mind after the show was over and going back to like the second place winner. That's aside.
Generally speaking,
Right.
if you're loud enough to get the first impression rose because you like elbowed other people out of the way to get more time with so and so, you're
Yeah.
kind of a jerk, and that comes out in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, some of it is also like what's like the weird costumes, like the guy riding in on a horse, like Prince Charming the one time, like
Shirtless.
yeah, it was so.
Well, this
bizarre.
time somebody
Like,
came in on a tractor,
yeah, I don't.
and another guy
Yeah.
jumped out of a box.
You
because
think
he
my
was so
tractor's
box-
sexy?
I did not think his tractor or him was sexy.
Well, we're singing all the country songs tonight.
But
But what's really interesting, I think, about that first night is that first rose ceremony, because of all the people that she had to meet and the whole production of it all, it literally ends in the morning. Like, if you've paid attention, when they're leaving because they've been cut,
Mhm.
they're leaving in daylight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
always
6
wondered
a.m.
that. But I
Yeah.
don't
yeah, but
understand
can I?
how
And
that
I don't
works.
want to jump ahead, but I think I'm thinking
It's
I'm
fine if
accidentally
you
jumping
jump
ahead. Here's where I'm at, and let's look at it this way. And you know where I'm at. Like I don't like love the show, but I watch it. But so we did a show a couple weeks ago on online dating, and you jump on an online dating site and you put this profile up, and you get all of these messages. You could receive
Disturbing.
30 messages in one night.
How is that
Technically,
different?
technically you're talking to 30 people in that one night, and then you do weed them out. You do
Probably based on appearance,
appearance first,
first impressions.
then their profile, then if they inappropriately
Scary.
send you pictures. I mean, we could keep going on. So technically, just because it's not all on TV and you're not making millions, you're still doing the same thing. Or not millions.
You're
I don't
not
know.
making
Well,
millions.
They're
not
making money.
Making millions.
They're making some money though, right? Do they get paid? Do you think? I don't know.
I think you don't get paid
Uh,
as a contestant. You get paid as the main feature.
I think
Okay.
you get paid as
Bachelor,
the
Bachelorette.
Bachelor or the Bachelorette.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't get paid as a contestant.
But
I
you
mean,
make
you
yourself
eat-
noticeable
Well, but
enough
for
during the
some of
show,
those
and they get
contestants
advertising
that have
deals
their
as a
own
factor.
businesses
Yeah.
and things. I'm sure that show helps. Their
But what I'm
Exactly.
saying is
Yeah.
That's when you're there for the
That's
wrong
one of the
reasons.
big controversies. Yes,
Yeah.
they're there for the wrong reasons. Promote my business. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew
Okay.
doesn't like
That's a
guys that
classic
are there
one.
for the
That's a
wrong
classic
reasons.
I think it goes both ways. I think there's been women that have.
Oh,
done
yeah.
that
Oh, I agree.
Oh,
wrong.
yes,
Oh, absolutely, it's
definitely.
both
There's
ways.
some terrible women on that show.
Absolutely.
And there's some terrible
terrible
men.
women.
Yeah.
They're
It goes
terrible
both
people.
ways.
Make
I
no
have-
mistake.
Well,
I
then
have to mention
do
my.
they like paint them in a worse light than they really are too? Like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Like
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
definitely
Sure.
there's.
I mean, some of them
scripting.
are probably that way in real life, but then I think sometimes it's scripting makes them look.
Editing, yeah.
I
Editing
don't see
takes the
anything.
worst of what they say and compiles it, so you think that they're like on this one track mind of evil.
Right, when they might
when-
not be.
But you also have to factor in like they're in this really weird
Yeah.
scenario with so much that you're just not really meant to deal with in
Yeah,
real
it's not
life.
normal.
This situation does not make sense to most
Right,
people.
like, 'cause who's
so
gonna really go
a lot
to,
of people
like,
just snap, and
what
maybe
is
they're
it
not
that,
bad
like,
people.
they do that, like, root, like, the suite or whatever.
The fantasy
The
suite.
fantasy suite, yeah,
Oh,
I got
weird.
issues with that.
Do you want to
but-
explain the
Close to
fantasy
reality.
suite?
Well, let me real quick say this. So Sarah Kane, who's
Hey,
a past
Sarah.
guest, said, "Do you play a character with online dating?" Sarah, you may not play a character, but most of the people on online dating are playing a character. You're hiding behind a phone or a computer. You can't tell me
It
all
kind of.
those people are authentic.
Are you watching a watch party at all?
Yeah,
Is the watch party going crazy?
It was at first it was all about HGTV.
Yeah.
And now
I
it's
do
all
like
about eggplant
HGTV.
and Tinder and
Yeah.
online
Oh
dating.
my gosh.
online dating is
Yeah.
getting hit.
So-
But come on, guys, like.
I do see the eggplants there.
Which
Very
I
nice.
just, during the online dating episode, if you want to go back and watch that, I live on Facebook learned what eggplants are.
It's all over.
So
all in
I
their
was,
watch party.
I was pretty embarrassed. So
That's funny.
before we move on from reality TV as a whole, I want to point out one of my favorite is an uncomfortable word, okay?
Okay.
Because it was only one season and it was the train wreck of all train wrecks. But if you have Netflix, you can go watch it. I watched it with my friend Becky. Becky, if you're watching, we need to watch it again. Bridal Plasty. Bridal Plasty was a one season show where
Can't imagine anything.
there were
good
like
come
these
out of it.
challenges. I don't remember anything about the challenges. I watched this like a
They're
good
all
6
women who are
years ago.
engaged, right?
They were all engaged.
Yes.
They were all engaged, and they decided to go on this show. And between starting the show and their wedding day, they would not see their spouse to be, their
No
husband.
way.
And during that time, they would go through challenges, and each week, whoever won the challenge got one plastic surgery of their choice. And then by
That just sounds like a terrible
It
So you
idea.
can
was
imagine by
very
the end
terrible.
of the show,
Oh my
somebody who
gosh.
wins a lot actually doesn't come out looking the best. They come out like all wrapped up and gross with like
Yeah.
everything
But
you can
why?
dream of that they picked.
they came
So-
into the show with wish lists of what they wanted done to their body, and then the winner got everything on their wish list, and then they weren't allowed to like see their husband to be until they showed up for their wedding, and they were like marrying a person they'd never seen before because they were
Like,
completely
do their
remodeled.
husbands know that they're doing this? Or
Yes.
they're-
I mean, or they just disappeared for like however long.
That'd
that
be
takes.
weird.
Oh wow.
They'd be like, maybe this engagement.
All right.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it is wholesome material.
That somebody put a meme.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to enjoy some brainless TV, Bridal Plasty,
That's a good one then,
look
guys.
it up.
I-
Okay, so
Yeah.
I want to move on to so people give reality TV in general a bad rap, right? Or,
And there are good reasons to, and
yeah, like these are real people's lives, and
I'd like
It's-
to watch Million
but
Dollar
they
Dream
sign
Home.
up for it.
Yeah.
They do sign up for it.
so.
Yeah.
But what about scripted TV? Because I know
Now,
have.
are we talking like regular cable, or are we talking like Netflix, HBO-ish, or
Uh,
like what are
I guess we
you-
could bridge all of
We
it.
could
I
do
feel
all of them.
like you get different things depending on
Yeah.
what you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the whole idea of the pot calling the kettle black. Like this idea that, well, I actually hope that you'll talk a little more on this, Andrew, than I will, because you get all the more excited. But people will like point at us like we're these terrible people for watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette. But what are they watching?
Game of Thrones.
Yep, we
You
said
know.
it.
It's
So
a pretty
I
rough
actually read
show.
all the books.
He
Me
did
too. And I didn't watch the show because I couldn't get
I'm
into
at
it.
season 3. It's not like the books at all. I can't wait for the rest of the books to get
Oh,
released.
you're gonna be waiting a while.
I know. It's
George
like,
is gonna die before
before
those
the
are
books
done.
are done.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Yeah.
like really crappy.
I think he gave up. It's been what, 6 years, 7 years?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Dance with
Yeah.
Dragons came
So I've never watched Game
Yeah.
of Thrones ever.
It's practically pornographic.
Honestly,
I'm just saying.
Well,
But
not-
it's scripted,
no, not
so
as
it's
much as,
entertaining.
like the 100 or like some of the other like Greek mythology shows that my husband watches. Those are way more pornographic.
Oh, I haven't
Like
tried to
Spartacus.
watch those.
Spartacus is
Spartacus.
very
So-
like
Yeah,
softcore
yeah.
porn.
But
Yeah.
when we watch Spartacus, you didn't want to talk about reality TV. When we would watch it, we'd be like, well, that's probably what Rome was like.
But here, look at this, and
No,
I
it's
may
historical. It's historical porn.
I may get thrown.
Historical porn.
That's a
Yeah.
big distinction.
That
Let's
makes
not
sense.
confuse those two.
Historical
Let's not
porn?
confuse
No,
those two.
no.
I mean, it might as well be.
So let me go with this, and I'm not going to say I didn't watch this for a little bit, but I feel strongly about this, and I may get a lot of backlash. Is Walking Dead. Okay, if you're gonna judge
Oh, I
somebody
never watched that.
for watching like a dating show and a reality show of that, but it's okay to walk around a city and blow everything up just because they're acting like zombies, and I don't believe in zombies, and I don't believe in all that. And there's blood everywhere, and people are sleeping with other people and getting pregnant, and
But
we're
at
raising
least
them in a
it's fake.
prison. But that's considered
People still
fake,
raise
and that's where I'm
babies in
at.
prison.
Like, yes, they do. But I meant this show is scripted with all of these crazy circles and paths and gory and blood and all this stuff, but that's okay because it's scripted. But going on
Like
a
The
dating
Shining, yeah.
show and dating people,
So what I'm
Yeah.
dying to know is how many people out there are zombie believers? Raise your hands, everybody. I
Yeah.
want to hear who's a
Please.
zombie believer and who's not.
The zombie
True.
apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse.
Andrew's brother
conspiracy
legit
theorists.
has a backpack ready for the zombie
The kit.
attack.
The
Would
zombie
that be
kit.
like doomsday prepping? Like, because there's a totally.
Oh, it's a
show
very
about
specific kind of doomsday prepping.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got
It's the zombie
I
doomsday.
got the thing in the back of my truck. It's a
Yep.
zombie response team.
That's
See,
special.
that stuff's funny. It's
Yeah.
fun. Right?
I don't
Yeah,
see,
it's-
but
I see
I-
it mostly as a joke.
I don't find it funny. I just have, I don't know, like I just maybe the way I was raised or what my beliefs are and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm entitled to this opinion. I get it, but for even like Halloween, my kids are not allowed to have blood, no death, no none of that. But I let them participate in Halloween. I feel that zombies give an image of death, and I don't like anything that has to do with them. Like, we don't watch anything like that in our household.
Fair.
And those are just like my beliefs of what I grew up with and what my heart and where my heart is and how I raise my kids. I would rather my children watch people dating people, not jumping in bed or fantasy suites or any of that, than a zombie show, by far.
And to that end, someone on the feed is saying, have you guys ever seen Preppers?
I watched,
No.
I think, 2 episodes of Preppers.
What is it about?
What is that?
Prepare for doomsday.
It's preparing for doomsday, and some of them have like really elaborate bunkers and
Bunkers
things.
with guns and
Guns, like
Crap.
all sorts of food.
Is it
stuff.
reality?
Like,
Oh, yeah.
no,
Oh,
it's
it's
legit.
reality,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, they're real people,
Wow.
like with real.
Like, it's their
Yeah,
real
this is a
stuff.
thing.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
real
thing.
thing. Mhm.
Yeah, I
So I guess the
have
moral
watched
of the
a couple
story
shows.
is there's a lot of crazy shows out there.
Well,
And-
the earlier on the feed, they focused on HGTV.
Yeah,
I
with
do
all
love
those-
me some HGTV. Not gonna lie.
Because most of those are reality shows.
they are.
Yeah,
Flip or Flop.
Property Brothers.
Those are all
Flip or
considered
Flop.
reality shows.
Now there's Christine on the Coast, which they've been like advertising like
Chip
crazy.
and Joe.
Yes, Chip and Joe.
Yeah.
There's another couple, like I can't think of what their names are. He's a little bit heavier set with a beard. They're kind of funny too. But they restore older homes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So a couple other issues that people have with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is one is the question of, is this actually real life? Like, it's called reality TV, but is it real?
Let's see.
Sorry.
I think that solely depends on the show. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're like, so we'll go back to Naked and Afraid. Yes, they're out in the woods. They're not entirely by themselves because like they do have medics and stuff, but like for all intents and purposes, they're not supposed to interact. So like that is, I would say, more reality than some of the other things that are out there.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the show.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, there are things that happen in The
I don't know
Bachelor,
who this Matt
Bachelorette.
guy is, but
Why would you say?
He's a Cleveland wedding photographer. that I
Will you
know.
accept this chicken?
Matt, we need to become
I don't
friends.
know.
That's all I have to say. After the
Depends on
show,
where-
please friend request
I think it
me.
depends on where the chicken comes from, but KFC is a hard pass for me.
Oh no, I love
Sorry,
KFC.
guys.
Okay. Back to the topic.
What was I saying? I
Is
was
this
saying
real
something.
life?
Oh,
Is this
there,
real-
are,
yeah.
there are moments in The Bachelor, Bachelorette that are real. There are a lot
Yeah.
of interactions that are genuine. There are a
Yes,
lot of
I would agree.
feelings that are real. There are a lot of crazy people seeded into the mix to explode everything with
But
drama.
they're actually crazy. That's real.
Sure.
They're really crazy. And I have to
Sure,
tell you,
and, like,
Amy and I talked
Did we
about
see
this.
Colton's season last season? I mean,
Yes.
like he jumped over an
A fence.
8-foot fence
Yep.
because he was done with the show. Like he got his heart broken,
He
and he's
essentially
like,
quit.
there are other girls left, but I'm done with this. I mean, with the people
That's
that
real.
that disrupt like the convention of the show,
Yeah.
I think are very real.
Yeah.
The producers do
Which
that
is-
intentionally?
Sometimes.
I do.
The producers do that intentionally.
So
Yeah, oh yeah, but not
so
this
with
case.
Colton's
Yeah.
season, what I thought was cool is we started Colton's season, Andrew and I really not liking him at all. We went into it kind of like this is gonna be a terrible season.
Yeah.
but he became very real throughout the season.
Mhm.
And especially with that 8-foot fence jump, I felt like he literally, I mean, he broke the rules of the show. The rules being you don't tell one woman when you have 3 left that you're in love with them.
Mhm.
Like, you don't say it's only you, I don't want the other women here. Like, that breaks the rules of your contract, probably
Yeah.
legally. But he did it because he was being real. And so I
he
think
felt
that
connection.
I think The Bachelor and Bachelorette is going more towards being
Genuine.
real and genuine.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have the crazies. That's part of the producer's job,
But
is
that's
to
like
find
American
the crazies.
Idol. There's always that one crazy.
There's
or
always
That
ones
one
that are
person that's
terrible.
terrible at
Yeah,
singing,
they
but they
can't
let him
sing,
by
they
because
put
they
him
were
in.
funny or cute or had a cool
Mhm.
story or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, and that's
It's
always
like-
gonna be a thing, and I appreciate it for what it is.
It's about ratings at the end of the day.
Right.
Whatever is going to get the
It
most
has to make
ratings,
money.
they'll
And
let
that's
that
what
happen. So.
I mean, it is on TV. So even when we say it's similar to online dating and the craziness and all that, this is on TV. They signed up for this. There needs to be the crazy. There needs to be, hopefully some connections. And
There needs to be a little dumpster fire in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
God,
mean,
it's
they
boring.
meet, fall in love, and
Yeah.
happily ever afters. It's boring after the second season.
Yeah, and I know, like,
Nobody's gonna
they're
watch it
together
every
for
time.
like 6 weeks. This group of 30 people. I mean, it dwindles down pretty fast.
It does.
And I know that's
Yeah, but think about trying to go on vacation with like 30 people for 6 weeks.
that's obnoxious.
I'm
you're not
sorry.
gonna get along.
Strangers.
But
Yeah.
if you're going to
Yeah.
put me in that nice of a house with that amazing excursions, I'll go with 30 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you locking
So, and
yourself
that's-
in your
Travel the
bedroom at
Yeah,
night?
that's
30
my point
strangers.
with the reality level of it. Is,
Their experiences are.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Really
And
cool.
I think the experiences are fantastic. I think it makes for great things to watch. I get to see different parts of the world that I haven't been to because I watch the show.
Mhm.
But what kills me, and this is one thing I do have a problem with the show, is that they'll be on a mountaintop that they just got delivered to by a helicopter, and they're eating a picnic on the snow-top crisp
There's
mountain.
a mariachi band behind it.
Yeah, like,
you
it's
know,
so
not,
magical.
like, normal,
And
like-
that's fine, but then they'll say, "This is the best date I've ever been on."
No crap.
Of course it is.
Oh my gosh.
like every
Obvious.
date is the best date you've been on
Right.
because you're never gonna probably do that again. in
Ever
your
Right.
life.
again.
Ever.
It doesn't matter who your company is.
Yeah.
It's going to be the best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what kills me is when they're like, "This is the most." Of course, it's the most amazing. Just shush.
Yeah,
They
like,
it
should
costs
just, like-
$200,000.
They should
It's
just
the
Yeah.
most
like,
amazing,
we're gonna
obviously.
do a Bachelorette season that's low budget and like
Yeah.
you live
Amazing.
like
Yeah, right.
regular people.
Meet at Swenson's. Have to fight the
Wait.
babysitter when they don't show
Yeah,
up.
oh, wait,
Yeah,
and
come
they
on.
do that
cost you
sometimes.
$125
They
for the
try.
babysitter.
And you just went and got hot dogs because you paid $120 to the babysitter.
Yep.
We need some reality.
Yeah, they do
Answer.
that sometimes, and they do it in the best way that they can.
Yeah.
When you consider it, but there's been some really good dates that I've been really like interested to see where they like cook a dinner at like the person's home. Like they fly them to their hometown and like
More
they get
real
to
life.
like
Yeah,
you cook a
I like
dinner,
that.
you hang out, you eat the food.
Meet the friends.
And
'cause
then-
friends are important. Too.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
brought
for
up
sure.
the fantasy suites earlier, and we didn't get there. So like
Oh, dear.
a couple seasons ago, like if you rewind a couple years, when it came to the fantasy suites, like whatever happened physically was kind of don't ask, don't tell. Like nobody talked about it. It's whatever you want to imagine.
The lights turn out, and that's the end of the scene.
That's the end of the scene.
Commercials.
And then Sean Lowe came on the scene, and I love Sean Lowe. He is a bachelor that was a Christian, and when he went in the fantasy suites, he specifically said, like on camera to these women, like, "I'm not doing this because I want physical time with you. I'm doing it because I want some alone time where we can be off the camera and have real conversations and kind of step back and like have some reality." And I believe that that's actually what happened. And I feel like also after he did that, then other people became more vocal about doing things that I would argue are inappropriate in the fantasy suites right before you're about to marry one of these 3 women.
Right.
Poor man.
Or men.
Depending on
Yeah,
the
You're
depending on which season. So that's been interesting to watch because I feel
Yeah,
like it
the
used to be
dynamics changed.
like it's whatever you want to believe or not believe and it doesn't matter. And then Sean did it in a positive direction and then it kind of got taken in a negative direction.
I would say I appreciated his disruption in a positive
I did
direction.
appreciate
I thought
it.
it was really cool. He's a
Yeah.
stand-up dude.
He is. And he
Yeah.
actually married the girl. He was the first bachelor to marry the girl he picked.
He was.
Was he?
And I feel
Yeah,
like he was like number
was.
18. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
season
It's not-
18.
I'm not
season
saying the
18.
show has a good record of marriages.
No, I feel like they
But I
come
think
on
that
the
that was
recap
him.
and it's like They argue.
that was important for him to, stand on his faith and act out in that. And I think that did change a lot of the dynamic.
And it was really cool because when I heard, I followed him for a while and read a lot of his interviews. And when he was a contestant on The Bachelorette, he was chasing after Emily Maynard.
Season, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that you know it.
See, I pay attention.
Yeah.
I did see some of her.
So
season.
on her season, he would go out to the pool area every morning and read his Bible and do his devotional. And by the end of the season, he was leading a Bible study because other people were coming out and saying, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm spending time with God."
Yeah.
And they're
What
like,
is
"Well,
that?"
that's yeah."
Yeah. And they hung out.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, not everybody follows this path, but like Ari, if anybody's watched this and has watched Ari is one of the people that came out and did the Bible study and like committed his life to follow Jesus and then went on to be the Bachelor, and it was ugly. But, not everybody wins.
Not everybody commits fully.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I am a firm follower of Sean Lowe in the sense of how he handled himself on the show. And he has, if you're interested in that, if you go and like Google him, he's got some videos talking about why as a Christian he went on the show and why he was comfortable with it and how he handled himself there accordingly.
Yeah. Check it out.
Great story.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. So another common complaint with The Bachelor and Bachelorette is we'll start with one half of the question. I keep pointing with this finger that has a big ugly Band-Aid. I don't know if you can see it if you're watching live, but I have beautiful nails and then this big ugly Band-Aid. So how does this affect women? How does The Bachelor and Bachelorette affect women and the progress that we as women are trying to make?
So 2 things I want to say. Lucy just commented on the feed. This is what bothers her about the show. It's that life doesn't remain that good, and it gives this falsehood of what's going to happen. And I would agree with that.
I would agree with that.
I'm sorry, there's no man I'm going to meet that will probably fly me in on a helicopter, put me on a mountaintop, and have a date with me.
Andrew's still working on that for me, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Yes.
It's not reality.
I'm still saving my pennies.
10,
So I
15
agree
years
that
in.
it offers that fakeness. I feel that with some women who may be going through different seasons in their life, and I'm going to speak as a woman standpoint because I don't know men per se of how it might affect them, but as a woman going through different seasons and stuff, they may view it as these women have this great life, and they're all, and I mean, come on, they are all very good-looking women that end up on The Bachelor.
Well, yeah, I won't deny that. They're all
so I can understand,
perfectly sized and poised
depending.
women.
Somebody eat a
Hey,
cookie.
and the men are
I
ripped.
can't eat a cookie
Come
now.
on.
But anyway.
Men are ripped.
So what I'm saying is depending on where you are in your life, you're going to perceive things in a different way. And if you are struggling internally with, your image and your acceptance and your body and all of that, you're going to view this show with the shame and a guilt of they all look great and I don't. If you're a woman in your life that is viewing of I can't find the right man, but all of these women are fighting over this, I mean, it's going to be a personal opinion and struggle, I think, for each individual person. I don't believe that that's why they do this script. I don't believe that they do it to shame women or men or anything. I think they do it purely for entertainment. Mm-hmm. And, that's kind of where I stand on that. I do agree that it's not reality. That's why, that's the joke of the reality TV. It's supposed to be reality, but it's really not. Nobody can have those great date nights and all of that. So I feel like, it can affect women in all different angles, depending on what season. It can affect the same women in different ways as well.
I think season makes sense because when we watch it, I know we usually end up being like, I'm so happy I'm not married to them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that, like, I've got you. So with us, it reaffirms our relationship.
Yes.
Other people, it's true. Like, you might be in a season where it brings out negativity in you or brings out, like, resentment for what
Exactly.
you don't have.
And
Or for what you
nothing's
think
wrong with that.
could be real and isn't real.
And nothing is wrong with that. And it's not even going to be The Bachelor or Bachelorette. There's going to be a lot of shows that will trigger that.
Yeah.
And so,
watching somebody pick out houses.
yeah, I think that
Big
that's a
houses.
reality
Yeah.
to understand and accept that, if it's something that triggers you or something that's going to affect you, not watch it. But but with going in it, this is for entertainment only, is going to make that situation and that healthy mindset a little easier to come by.
Yeah. So what about men? How does it affect men? And I'm asking this because everyone's like, oh, well, how does it affect women? And don't get me wrong, I'm kind of a feminist. I've been going that direction ever since becoming an entrepreneur. So I get the fact that we need to propel women forward, but we have the Bachelorette just as much as we have the Bachelor.
Exactly.
It used to be, there's not been as many Bachelorettes as Bachelors because for a long time it was only the Bachelors, but now they alternate every other season.
Yeah, now they alternate.
Yeah. And so it's really 50-50 and it's completely equal. So if we're going to say, oh, this, demeans women, are we not demeaning men at the same time when the Bachelorette is the lead?
Yeah.
I think you could argue that it does both.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I can say, so I caught up my 2 episodes Tuesday night and I watched them with Justin, and he is not usually a person that would express a lot of opinions in certain things, or that I would say has confidence issues or anything like that. But he was, if you watch the 2nd episode, they have what would you call it, a speedo walkway?
No, it's like a Miss America contest.
Yeah, it's like a Miss America. So you have
With
these
men?
you have these
with the
extremely
men,
built guys in colorful speedos strutting their stuff, basically trying to be the sexiest one on the
There
runway.
was a talent portion too.
There was.
Really?
Oh yeah,
There was, but the most talented one didn't win and we were kind of bitter
It was
about it.
dumb.
That's
Yeah.
called roostering.
But he actually got offended to the point that I was like, "Are you upset?" And he was like, "These men are just walking around and showing all their muscle." And I think the reason it affected him is that's not reality. You don't have. I mean, most men are not built like that and look like that.
It'd be like going to bodybuilding competition
Exactly.
or something and expecting everyone to look like the people on the stage.
And I think that was really cool to see that he did get affected by that and was like, I don't think that that's okay.
It was definitely
I don't think
awkward.
that's appropriate.
For when I was watching it, I asked Amy this. I was like, "Is this what it's like to be a woman watching Miss America, like the normal Miss America or Miss USA or whatever?"
Where they're doing
where
the
it's like
swimsuit.
I'm watching swimsuit women
And that-
in swimsuits.
that's
Now
good
I'm a
that it
man
brought it
watching men in
Although
swimsuits.
So how did
this
it
is
make
weird.
Did it make you uncomfortable?
It did. It was weird. It was weird. I didn't know what to do, where to look.
I do
what,
think
you
though,
know, what to
I mean,
think.
not that I watch a lot of Miss America, but I do think there have been contestants more recently that wear more covered, reserved things.
Huh.
Well, and you're looking at this
Not-
too.
That's
You want to
a
go
good
look at
trend.
this.
That's a good trend.
If those men are like that, and we want to talk about how this affects women and how it demeans women and just the modesty and all of that, how does that affect men that all those men looked good, perfectly fit, muscular,
No beer bellies.
no beer bellies? I don't think any of them had hairy chests, nothing.
Well, they
Like-
waxed, duh.
Well,
I mean, here's the question.
But what I'm saying
they
is
actually really need to because, I mean, given their age, they may not have
This is
chest
true.
hair anyway.
this is very true. But what I'm
You
trying
know?
to say is, in this, and I'm not putting women down, but it seems like women are always the ones of we got to be careful not to lower women's self-esteem. We got to be careful to build women up. We need to be, but men have emotions too.
Yes. Okay, I have a comment about this because I don't know how often you all watch Hulu or what kind of commercials Hulu shows you, but Hulu
watch
keeps
Hulu.
showing this commercial to Andrew and I, and it makes me angry every time. And the reason it makes me angry is I'm very vocal about women being more empowered, okay?
Yeah.
I think that it's something that we need to see more of happening. I'm a female entrepreneur. It's a crazy life, okay? But there's this commercial for a dishwasher where the wife walks into the kitchen and the dad is feeding his daughter that's probably 3 and she's drinking out of like a measuring cup instead of a sippy cup. And the wife goes, "Where's the sippy cup?" And he says, "Well, it's in the dishwasher. It's not dry yet. It can't possibly be dry." And then the wife opens the dishwasher, hands him the cup, and she's like, "That's why we bought a new one." And she says it was such an attitude that it's like, okay, I get that you're trying to advertise that your dishwasher dries things quickly.
But you just demeaned the man.
Exactly. And it makes me mad every time. I think we can empower women while not demeaning men.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying with that of I think people are so self-conscious and so worried to hurt a woman when the men are a species as well.
Yeah.
What do
I
you think?
agree with all of this, but is this a show about women empowerment, right?
Yes.
I'm kind of
Sorry,
feeling a little
guys.
guilty here.
We're
like, oh my
flipping our
goodness,
script a
they're
little
trying
bit
really
because
hard to build me up right now.
we
It's
are.
not you.
No,
this is all
and
about
this show
you.
in general is about building women up, but it's also just about being real and not shaming anybody in general and not judging
Yeah,
anyone.
Totally.
And if we are building women up but pushing our guys down, are we really being better women?
No.
Because
I
as
would say no.
you know,
But
as
I also think that you can't let someone, be it a man or a woman, get away with a standard that's unacceptable.
exactly, I agree with that.
So, because like I'm in quite a few Facebook groups, and there are some things that I read in some of those groups that obviously are private, but like it's never acceptable to put yourself in a situation where you could be harmed, where your children could be harmed, whether it's the guy or the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is something that I think like we need to help
In general,
everyone in general. Like help them get out if that's what they want, or be there to listen.
yeah,
Like
and I think that's important.
So, and I think for a landing point with this show, we've talked about a lot of topics with The Bachelor and Bachelorette specifically, reality TV, HBO / regular cable,
Netflix,
all the things. But like, why is this a thing? Like, what are our tips to get to a point where we don't point fingers over what people watch on TV?
Well, and that's
should
it.
we get to a point?
We just went through this whole conversation about what this show may make people feel or not feel. How can we have this strong opinion on, well, I don't watch this show because it demeans women. I don't watch it because it demeans men. I don't watch it because of drama. But are you any better of a person to then point a finger and be like, oh, but you watch it, so something must be wrong with you?
So I think this, like, I think you've read some of the Rachel Hollis books, and it just reminds me of the one quote she said that someone else's opinion is none of your business.
It's one of my favorite quotes of
And
hers.
that's something that really stuck with me because, you know what, it doesn't really matter what someone else thinks at the end of the day. If I'm doing my best to be a good person, to, we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. But at the end of the day, what you think about me really isn't the be-all, end-all.
Which is so much easier said than done.
It is.
Yes.
I think that as human beings, we try to be people pleasers. We try to love everyone. We try to impress everyone and all of that. But
I think we're harder on ourselves than we really need
we
to
are. And, wherever your faith lays in law, or, wherever you are in that, like, is our job really here to impress everyone or to make, and we say this, but it is hard.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we know where our heart is and we know what we're doing is the best we can do, and the heart in it is what is most important, people are going to have opinions about everything else.
Right. And I know people who have said, like, I can't watch The Bachelorette because it makes me feel fill in the blank way. Cool.
Yeah.
Then don't
That's
watch
where
it.
your heart is.
Right.
And
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And that's
I know
part
that
of why I don't watch it.
Yeah, and I know that
Yeah.
when Andrew and I watch it on Monday nights and we open a bottle of wine and we get our fanciest glasses out,
I love
like
it.
that's like our
It makes
date
the wine
night.
taste better.
It does make the
It
wine
makes
taste
the-
better,
A
even if
cheap
it is
wine.
out of a box.
See, I'm like, my husband and I watch Naked and Afraid together. So,
Yeah,
there you
like,
go.
it's the same kind of idea, just
Mhm.
we happen to watch totally different genres.
Yeah,
in terms
exactly.
of, like, what you're watching.
yeah.
Yeah.
And to us,
And then
it's
we
really
talk
special.
about, like, what they're doing and, like, what we would do in that situation.
Yeah,
That's a great point. It's like,
Yeah.
spend time together, focus
And
quality
that's the
time,
connection.
bond over some kind of
Whatever it
event,
is,
whatever it
yeah.
is, rather than go off and play video games and like
Yeah.
go read a
Sit
book
on
and
your
don't spend time
phone and-
together.
yeah,
I think,
exactly.
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
husbands and wives, it's about spending time together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I love it.
I have a date box coming up. this
So,
week.
So with that, I mean, we wanted to talk about this and we wanted to have conversation about it, but we are going to, in the next upcoming shows, really elaborate on why we brought this up, not just that Amy absolutely loves the show.
I love the show. We thought about having a segment, like, for 3 minutes at the end of every episode about my take on the last week of The Bachelorette, but now that we saw 75% of you hate it, I won't be doing that. At least not officially.
Oh!
I mean, I might bring it in and have my comments, but we're going to talk on topics that are kind of bigger picture. So
That doesn't bother
which
me.
sounds a little crazy when we talk about what's coming next week, because it's going to kind of go a little bit the other way.
It is definitely going to go the other way.
We're
Can
gonna-
I read this comment real quick? Because
I think it's kind of relevant.
Sure.
I'm eager to hear what you have to say. So Alexandra, who I don't know who this is, said, she's just Spanish show, said, since you guys are big fans of the show, what's your opinion on Bachelor and Bachelorette having a season of the same sex?
Alex
Ooh.
stirring things
Is
up.
that who it is?
That's
Right.
my nephew. I saw that comment
Oh
come
my
in,
gosh.
and here's my answer. The reason I didn't answer it when I saw it come in, I think regardless of what our opinions are on that, the Bachelor franchise, Bachelor Nation, I don't see that happening anytime soon
Yeah.
because of their interest in ratings and viewings. I think America's just not quite ready for it.
I would agree with that.
So
Personally,
that's my
it
like.
doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Yeah, like I don't really know. I haven't put much thought into how I'd feel watching like a season of that, but I would
Yeah.
just say that America's not ready, and that I think that their show would tank if they went that direction.
Probably.
Yeah,
Perhaps
Okay.
it's a non-issue
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
time being.
Yeah.
For the time being,
So
I
next-
don't doubt that it'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next week, do we want to tell them what we're kind of
Yes.
taking? So today was a little fun, and I'm glad we got a lot of real points down. So next week, our show is actually on Disney princesses.
We're gonna have Sarah Kane here.
So, and here
She
is
has
kind of just
opinions, right?
she's got a lot
She's
of
got
opinions.
opinions on Disney
And
princesses.
here's the thing, many of us may have an opinion on watching Bachelor or Bachelorette, but then we'll let our children watch and support and I'm going to use this
Disney.
word, idolize these Disney princesses, dress up like them, watch them, do everything with them, pretend to be them, all of
But
that.
what is it teaching them?
But what is it teaching them? And so we're going to kind of go on that and kind of discuss, not our opinions on that and
My
what are the
favorite
benefits.
one is Mulan.
Yeah. You'll have to chime into the show and give us
Yeah.
your
Chime
opinions.
in, comment,
Love
and let us know what you're thinking. We'll have some posts this week on social media where you can share with us your thoughts.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun episode. Again, kind of similar to tonight. Like just talking about like what is this teaching us? What are the messages? Does it matter? Does it not?
Yeah.
And then the week after that, we'll be going a little more serious and talking more honestly about body shaming and how
And how
real
these
life
affect
things
you.
and how
Yeah.
it affects you.
So thanks so much for
Deep.
joining us tonight. Any
Yeah.
last comments? Any last thoughts?
Who's your
Always be
favorite? Who do you?
Cam, ABC.
ABC
Oh, gosh.
always be Cam. For anyone who is watching this season, you'll get that. And who do you think she's gonna pick?
Oh,
Not
I don't
Luke.
even have a front
Luke's
runner
gross.
yet.
I'm like, I don't even know
Luke
who they
is
are.
misled.
I like
that
Jed.
Poor guy.
Jed,
Jed is a kind fellow.
Yeah.
Jed is a kind
I-
fellow.
he should have
The
won
way
the
he
Mr.
responded,
Right competition.
The
Yeah.
way he handled that whole
The whole
awkward
massage issue.
massage thing, he was so cool about that. He's a genuine dude.
He's a genuine guy.
Yeah.
I like him. I don't know if she'll pick him, but I like him. That's my final thought.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you guys. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and we hope that you tune in next week for another sip of solidarity.
Good night, guys.